There's currently a total of 5.6 million Palestinians refugees. That's equivalent to the number of people living in Finland currently as of 2025. But as of recently, according to BBC News on May 10th, 2025, several European countries are stepping up towards pushing other European countries to vote in favor of Palestine to become a state. These countries are Spain, Norway, and Ireland, and they are about to make some great changes for the state of Palestine. But additionally, currently 139 out of the 193 countries within the UN have also agreed towards have also agreed in favor of making Palestine a state. These are two of the three necessary acts that need to be passed in order for Palestine to gain recognition at the UN and officially become a state. Yet, with this, it leads us into today's question: what will be the greater effects the of the European countries influencing other influencing for Palestine to be recognized as a state? And there are three major things that will come into play. First, it will be much more likely that Palestine to become an actual country. Second of all, it would make Palestine be capable of getting proper access to UN's programs. And third and finally, be a much it'll be a first step towards Palestine being able to achieve a much greater future. On to the first great thing that will happen to Palestine is that it will officially become a country. As according to RUSI, or the Royal United System, Royal United States of Royal United States Institute, is that the Palestine would effectively become a country if it is properly able to obtain two-thirds favor of the UN's voters being able to effectively become a nation, being effectively able to pass the security board, which also must be accepted by the five major security members, which includes the U.S., France, UK, Russia, and China. And finally, it must be a proper country. So, with this, it would be capable of actually soon able to become a country. And with this, it would allow it to do much greater things in the future. And one of the great important things it actually has is the fact that it is a lot more capable of having its government set up and effectively being able to use it. And especially with the Gaza and Hamas war that's currently going on, it'll be at much better terms towards stopping the ceasefire, at creating a ceasefire between the current war between Israel and Hamas. But secondly, it's also important to know that it will be able to gain much more access to UN's programs. According to the UN, any country that has officially become recognized as a state will be eligible for its dozens of available programs ready to help and aim towards third world countries. And Palestine, a country that's currently ravaged by war and has millions of refugees, would greatly benefit from these many programs that are aimed towards countries just like them. One example would be the UNICEF, which is aimed towards helping ensure that many kids and mothers are capable of ensuring a much greater childhood for their children and ensuring that these children have brighter futures to come. And additionally, especially since that there's so many people starving in Palestine, as according to the New York Times, it would be the WFD, or the World Food Drive, would be capable of helping ensuring that millions of these starving people are ensured that they're properly fed and properly getting food and clean water to ensure that they won't starve out. As unfortunately, according to BBC News, there are currently thousands of deaths being recorded several thousand deaths being recorded due to famine. But with all this great news, it brings into third and final benefit, it'll finally bring hope towards Palestine. There are currently millions of people suffering in Palestine, unfortunately, and if it officially does become a state as it's currently being recognized by many European countries, it potentially has the hope of becoming, it potentially has the hope of obtaining much better hope. A land where millions of people are capable of living and where war won't ravage anymore. And if it actually does become a state, it'll, as described earlier, it'll be capable of much having a chance of actually coordinating to a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. And additionally, if even if the even if a ceasefire doesn't come, many of the millions of people that are unfortunately currently starving are capable of getting access to programs such as the WFD and UNICEF, which will help ensure that its people are being capable of living in a much better position. And so, as and so, as the war unfortunately rages on between Israel and Palestine, many European countries are aiming towards helping ensure that Palestine can become recognized as a state, which will help bring Palestine many good things, such as it'll officially be recognized as a country, so it'll have much more benefits. Second of all, it'll be capable of accessing more of the UN's better programs. Third and finally, it'll it'll bring much of hope to Palestine and more of its people. Thank you.